Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're working on my 08 335i with the CCC navigation system. This is an E90 model and we're going to be upgrading it to run on an Android based system. Let's get the product unboxed and we'll go over some of the details. Alright, let's get this unboxed. Here's the actual hardware. That's the actual unit itself. The screen, I'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the harness to actually integrate it onto the car. And it comes with a reverse camera. So to start with, we'll take a look at that reverse camera. They give you a hole saw to be able to actually drill into your trunk. It comes with the appropriate bit. Here's the actual reverse camera. You got your AV feed and your power. Here's your power for the actual reverse camera. You have to tap into something on the car, like your reverse lights. Here's the actual AV composite video cable that you run all the way up to the front of the car. Next up is the harness. This is your GPS antenna. As far as I can tell, you have to use this. You can't tap into your factory GPS antenna. There's no Y splitter. So you're gonna have to mount that on your dash somewhere. It comes with a USB input cable to be able to just feed in a USB stick or anything else you want to connect to the actual head unit for screen mirroring, etc. And the actual harness to tap into your car. This should be plug and play. Next up is the actual unit itself. As you can see, there's an SD card there. And it should fit right on the car. There's all your inputs, your screen pass-through, etc. So that's the unboxing. I'm going to start disassembling the dash and getting the original CCC system out of the car. And I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so here we are set up in the car. We got to pull the screen out first thing, and then we're going to pull out this trim piece. So I'm going to start with this. If you were to actually just put your hand behind it, it's been taken out a couple times on this car, so it's actually probably a little bit easier than it has to be, but basically you just pull forward, support it, and then down on this end. Alright, so over here now, you want to actually rotate this, pull it forward. The first thing you got to disconnect is the actual start and stop switch. There's a couple tabs on the side that you got to press in, which I'll show you guys. Over here, you actually want to pop your switch forward by hand. Then get after these two harnesses here. Like so. Now you can pull this forward and out of the way. Next up, we'll pull the climate controls out of the way. Pull forward. White switch. Black switch. And that. Set those aside. Now there's a trim that actually goes all around here. What I like to do is get this out of the way. This is where you want to employ a plastic trim removal tool, which I'll show you now. There you go. And that's that, because I've already disconnected this. This just comes away. Now we'll go after the screen, and then we'll go after pulling the CCC system forward. You want to lay a microfiber towel on your center trim here. The two screws here up at the top are T10s. They're at a slight angle. I like to insert my trim removal tool up at the top, pry down, basically trying to rock it forward, like so. You have this connection here, and then you get your screen right there, and that frees this away. Now we have these 4 Phillips screws. We can't pull this forward until we move the shifter out of park. So, or you can try to pull the shifter off. Which I opted to do. That should give us the clearance we need. And you want to lay a microfiber towel on top of this. We're disconnecting things that we see here. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but basically went after anything that seemed like it was connected or in the way. I'll summarize that real quick. We had this right here, your screen and your antennas. Alright, so getting ready to actually connect the harness. We gotta move our optical cable over. So you just need a pick tool. Comes out. Now we can plug this in. Now we want to move the optical cable over to this. Now I'm going to work on running these up to the top. I'll show you guys which route I took. Alright, so I started the cable manage. I tucked everything back there so that the head unit would go back into place. This is the new harness that came with the aftermarket Android based system. Now we're not going to be using this connector anymore, so I'm going to tuck that away, and I got to start strategizing on how I'm going to get these to come up there. So I'm going to get busy doing that now. For now, we'll tuck this out of the way. For the sake of running wiring, I'm going to remove the glove box and also the GPS antenna. I actually tucked it around here, ran it down, and I want the glove box out of the way so I can pass the cable up to the appropriate spot. I already have a reverse camera on my car, so I was able to just tap into this here. If you notice on this, one of these actually goes to that. So I'm going to connect that and run a piece of electrical tape around it. It didn't come with the supplied auxiliary cable, so I had to source my own. It's going to go between here, where it says audio out, right here. You're going to run it along the side of your console here and up into your auxiliary port. So that's the next step. Alright, so those cables that were living behind here, I moved them over this way. I snaked them over so that we can plan on passing them up this way. And I connected my reverse camera and used some electrical tape to secure that. So I'll tuck that away after I've actually brought the cables up this way. Thus far I was able to just pass this up by hand. This is the GPS antenna. I was able to just stick my fingers in there and shove my hand up this way. I didn't need a cable or like a coat hanger or anything to pull things up so far. Let's see if I can manage on the other harness. It's pretty thick. So there's also a USB cable which drops down. I'm going to try to bring that over now. This is the USB cable that I was talking about. It connects to the back of the screen, so we got to actually fish this down now. And there we have it. I managed to run that up there, no big deal. So I got the two USB cables waiting there. Now we got to strategize on getting these up there. And I actually opted to go this route. I went from behind, passed it up through where the climate control is, and there's a little slot here where you can stick it in and then kind of have it just hang on over here. Doing that causes the screen to have a nice lip and it doesn't bind up on anything. I'm just going to cable manage this stuff over to the right, and then I'll show you when I'm putting the screen in. FYI, that's what the back connections look like. Alright, there we go. The screen is mounted with a nice fit. Now I'm going to start putting things back together down here. As you can see, the interior is all back together now, and I'm going to show you guys a demo. Alright, we're going to put the key into the on position. As you can see, we have our usual BMW logo. You're used to that. If you notice, it's much higher resolution, but all in all, you know, it's the same old interface. What you got to do is basically hold your menu button for 3 seconds. So basically 1, 2, 3, it brings you to this interface here. And there's literally no lag between my inputs on the iDrive controller and what I'm seeing on the screen. I'll show that again. Let's turn the car off. All right, key on. And I'm gonna hold the menu button for 3 seconds so you can see it actually booting up on its own screen. You can basically just hit that as soon as you start the car. And it'll give you an idea of what type of boot time to expect with this. Similar to the OEM system all in all, but one good thing is as soon as you put it in reverse, regardless of if it's booting up, you gotta put the key in the on position. We'll throw it into reverse. That'll pop up right away. The second you start the car, there's no lag like there would be on a CCC system that comes with navigation. And as you can see, you actually have park sensors integrated into the display and also representation on the right, just like my E90, but higher resolution. Looks pretty good. So we'll go key off, and there's going to go key on one tap. So now we'll go through the menu real quick. You have music. It's got some preloaded Chinese music on here. So, but all in all, I'm not going to play that. I don't have it set to auxiliary right now. Navigation will load. I have it so that it will load Waze. You just select the app that you want, and it'll actually take you right to the, you can use different navigation apps. As you can see, it's taking some time. So if you're in something, one tap of the menu button will actually bring you right back. So basically to select, I can just hit this and it'll go into there, and to get out of it I can just hit menu and it'll bring me back. Overall, it's pretty responsive when you're on this menu here. Not too laggy. If you hit original car or car info, tap that with your iDrive controller, it just brings you right back to the standard CCC navigation. Then you tap the menu button for 3 seconds, brings you back. Voice assistant only works with some Chinese server, so disregard that. And you have your file manager, DVR. That reverse camera that came with this, since I already had one, I'm gonna have it actually on the front of the car, so you can have like a built-in dash cam. So I'll do another video when I integrate that. This should just say no signal, but just to give you an idea. Now, dashboard will show you a set of gauges. Thus far, I haven't figured out how to change it from metric to standard. So it shows you how many liters of gas you have remaining in your tank. Here it says your e-brake is released. If I pull it up, it says it's pulled. If you look at that symbol there, if I open the door, you'll see that all that kind of stuff, and it shows you RPM. Kind of cool. So to get out of here, I can just hit the menu button. Takes me right back out. Now I have settings. This will kind of look like a CIC based system. If that looks familiar to you. General settings are here, and you can just hit menu to get back out of it. Or you have system settings for this actual Android controller, audio, etc. Kind of looks like a CIC, like they modeled it after that, but this kind of looks like the newer generation G series cars, just the color scheme and whatnot. So all in all, it's pretty cool. The main thing that's neat about it is the fact that if you go to apps, you got a standard Android tablet set of apps here, but you're actually using your iDrive controller to go through them, and you can even tap down to select one of them, like I'm going to go to the Play Store, just like that, via my controller, as if it was a mouse. So that's pretty neat. And if I hit menu, it'll take me right back. So that opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of any Android app that you could ever want to install. I'm going to see, I can even just do touchscreen, go here, just the same. If I wanted to install MHD, which I haven't done yet, but I figured that maybe I could show me installing it here. Pretty quick all in all. I'm connected to home Wi-Fi right now. So now it's gonna download that. So that's taking some time, I'll let that be. Now, I'll be honest with you, got a couple issues with this. My first issue was the sound quality. I tried changing my audio settings here, changing the bass and everything wasn't to my liking, so then I went to the menu and I fiddled around with audio settings here, and I went to my equalizer, etc. Still wasn't happy with the kind of sound I was getting out of it. So I actually bought a headphone amplifier and also wasn't happy with the sound. It sounds clear and the mids are really good. It's punchy and it's loud. It's just I wasn't getting that rumble. It sounded like the subwoofers were deactivated under the seats on my car. But for most people, I'm sure they'd be more than happy with the sound quality, especially if you don't have the Harman card on. But I just couldn't get around the fact that I didn't like the sound and I was looking for a solution. I think one solution that would work was a headphone amp that you can actually go in and set the equalizer on that and bump the bass up. It's 30 bucks. I got a creative one, tried that out. That wasn't bad, but still, the way I'm planning to use it, it's going to be a little bit different. And a couple of issues I had. I was using navigation. I was in Waze, driving somewhere. I was connected via Bluetooth to my phone, via Bluetooth music here. It was working great. Next thing you know, this would crash out and say, unfortunately, Bluetooth would crash, but then your music keeps playing. Your steering wheel controls would kind of lag out during that moment, and then you'd have to go back in and reconnect. I don't know what the deal is with that. But every time that happened, it'll pull you out of the navigation app, and sometimes the navigation app would be really laggy or take a lot of time to load. All in all, the system doesn't feel slow. I think the CPU is decent because of the fact that I can go into all these different apps and all seems to work well. But for whatever reason, it was just a little bit more laggy than I could deal with. So I kind of was disappointed, but not really, because it still looks a lot better and it has a lot of functionality. The saving grace was the fact that I can link my phone, and this is really cool. I'm going to show you me connecting my phone via USB and actually using the touchscreen to control my phone. That just made it awesome. It made it all worth it. And for audio, I'm just connected via my usual WMA 3000 that I had in the past. This thing works amazing, sounds crystal clear and really punchy. So I'm just using that to connect my phone via audio. And I'm going to show you the main thing that makes this all work. I'm going to change this cable out to black, but that's my USB cable going between the head unit and my phone. So I'm going to connect it, and we're going to go to phone link. There's an app you have to install on your phone for it to work. And there, just like that, it automatically connected to my phone, and I can even control it. That's just amazing to me. So I'm gonna go into Android Auto. The only thing I gotta do here is just flip to horizontal. Takes a second. And boom. Just like that, I can change between music, phone. So as I'm moving here, I'm on my navigation now. I'm moving through just like it's part of the car, but if you notice, I'm actually moving the actual map. Go back to music, and it's just instantaneous. There you go, just works perfectly. It's just native, and then all the speed that you have on your phone gets translated here, so that's zero lag, it's super quick, it's responsive, and there's no frustrations. I got my Bluetooth streaming going to my actual car. You can just use an aux cable, whatever you want to do to maintain the sound quality, and I have what I wanted, Android Auto. So if I want to play the music, I can just do it like that. If I want to change tracks, I can actually do it from here now. Just like that, it changes the track for me. If I want to pause, I just tap here and then unpause. For whatever reason, my steering wheel controls, I guess somehow they'll interfere with the fact that they communicate with this head unit natively, but these buttons are unaffected. So it's perfectly fine for me. Now, one thing that's convenient is if I wanted to search for something here and type it up, that could be a little cumbersome to reach up here. It would be my only choice, but I have a natural keyboard sitting right here. So I may enter here, I may change tracks here, I may, while I'm driving, if I don't want to be looking down there to use my Spotify and integrate with it, I can do it from up here. So all in all, that just makes it all pull together. The resolution is super high res. It's just as good as my phone. It looks sharp and awesome. So that really pulls everything together and really made me happy when that worked out, when I have like proper Android Auto. Sure, you can download apps here and you can use these features, and the CPU of this thing is usable. It's not bad. It's not that fast and it could get frustrating, but you know, at the same time, it's pretty cool to have the power of an Android tablet built into your car. So, as you can see, that's still downloading. I'm not sure why it's taking so long. But we'll install that. I'll launch the app just to show proof of concept. And I'm gonna leave it to you guys to let me know what other kind of stuff you'd wanna see with regards to this head unit. What kind of stuff were you hoping it could do that I could demonstrate for you? I definitely have confirmed that even if you don't have the 6FL USB package, you'll have steering wheel controls. It sounds decent. You can use the native navigation apps. You can download whatever one you want and associate it to it. For instance here, so if I just hit back here, navigation, you can choose which one you want to be your navigation app. There's multiple choices. One thing that I gotta show real quick is you have a video player here, which they put something on the SD card. Looks like it was just a trailer, but pretty cool. This thing will actually go full screen in a second here. So that's pretty neat. So if you want to load files right here, there's an SD card. Here, let me get the light. Over here, there is an SD card, a reset button, and a microphone. You can use it if you don't have the hands-free Bluetooth on your car. As you can see, it's installing. If you change tracks and whatnot while you're listening to music through Bluetooth streaming, it'll show you the new track name right there. See, it successfully installed it. So now if I go over to apps, I got my MHD. So I could technically flash tune right from here. Look at that. I just have to connect my USB cable. I have USB connections right here. There's an extra one, so if I wanted to use my K DCAN cable on here, just plug it in, connect it to the OBD, and I'm flashing. For now, I just have this cable like that. I'm gonna get a black one so it doesn't stand out. But that's just cool, no matter how you slice it. So I can close that out. I can close all my apps here. Really brings the car up to date in terms of looks and functionality. Using the native Bluetooth streamer and the dial pad, etc. would be cool, and it sounds fine. And you can just use your aux cable going straight from the head unit. But if you want to maintain bass for whatever reason, no matter what I tried, I had to use my own streaming from my phone to my aux cord. If you're looking into this, you have to have an aux port to be able to use this anyway, so I'm pretty sure most cars have that. Or you can stick some MP3s on that SD card, stick some movies on there, video player. If you have kids, they can watch from the back seat. This dashboard thing is kind of neat, I guess. The DVR, I'm going to do another video on showing the integration with that camera that I have, the reverse camera. Since I already had a reverse camera, I'm going to make that the front camera, and we'll have a built-in dash cam of sorts. File manager here takes you to the actual unit here. So all in all, pretty cool. I've shown you all the pivotal stuff, or the important stuff. And yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with it. The fact that I can link my phone just really pulled it all together for me. It's very quick to actually load that. I'm showing me going right back into it even though I closed the app. And I don't want to do that. So just like that. Change tracks on the fly. So I can even exit out of the app here. Just like that. It'll go back to a vertical layout, but it's literally instantaneous. But it's just really cool. All in all, it works quite well. And then if I wanted to pull in my phone controls, boom. If I want to go back, close all my apps, etc. Everything you can do with your phone, you can do right there. So that's very powerful. Between those two things, I believe it makes this thing really awesome, and I'm quite happy with it. The cost to have this land to you would be in and around the $480 range. I have been working with the manufacturer, talking to them about potentially giving me a discount, and I'm looking into maybe bringing some of these from overseas. And if you guys would be interested in one of these at a discount, hopefully, you know, the low 400s, high 300 range to your door. If that's something you'd be interested in and you were looking for some support, I'm just feeling it out. I don't know if I want to get involved in something like this, but at the same time, if it's going to save you money and you'll have a good resource to ask questions and install it, then I'd be interested in hearing from you guys in the comments. Let me know what do you think would be fair to pay if you have interest in this product, etc. And I can make arrangements to have some of these brought from overseas and work out something, a way for you guys to get them. But otherwise, if you wanted to find this, you can find it on AliExpress, on eBay, just by searching in E90 Android, and you'll see they're around $500, $480 to $500 to your door. So hopefully you guys found this video interesting. If you have any questions, or if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, and I post regularly. Thanks for watching. Good luck.